everybody, my name is Brian Kelley and welcome back to Talk of the Town. Hello everybody, my name is Brian Kelley and welcome back to Talk of the Town. Now, hello everybody and welcome back to Talk of the Town. My name is Brian Kelley and we have... Hello everybody, my name is Brian Kelley and welcome back to another edition of Talk of the Town. Play last minute. Hello everybody, my name is Brian Kelley and welcome back to Talk of the Town. It's that time of year again, folks. You'll be getting your gardens ready and worried about paying for that water bill, especially if you're in the MWRA district. So we have a special guest. I have Suzanne Gebelein from the Great American Rain Barrel Company. Is that correct?
That's correct. Good to see you again, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Welcome back.
Like your new studio.
Thank you, thank you. We did a show a few years ago and I actually was over at Suzanne's shop the other day picking up another rain barrel because I've been paying a lot of money in that water bill, and I thought, you know, this is the time. I was putting new downspouts on, so we got a new barrel. So I asked Suzanne to come in and talk to you folks about the rain barrel again because I've actually owned one for a few years now, and the quality and the durability has been excellent. So,
great, glad to hear it.
Matter of fact, I had one from another company that I got rid of, and it was a nightmare. So this has been fabulous. So, folks, I think Suzanne's here, and Suzanne, maybe you can give a little background on how you got involved with the rain barrels, and then let's talk to the people about how do they set one up.
Okay, great. Well, as you know from our last visit, we have a food importing company, so we take our repurposed rain barrel, repurposed shipping drums, and make them into a water collection system. And so what you have here is two examples of two colors that we have. One is a Nantucket gray. This is what we call earth brown, a very dark espresso brown. And from the previous video, we have the forest green color. And so the barrel comes, it looks like this when it comes. It has a hole here and a hole over here, a plug here and a plug down there. And inside the barrel, you have your parts. So what you need to do is first get into the barrel. And so what we recommend...
That's not a problem. It's getting out of the barrel that's the problem.
I bet that's your problem. So what we do is to get in the barrel, what I recommend you do is you brace the barrel with your knees and hold it, and then you unscrew the lid, because sometimes these drums become a little warped when they're empty. So you unscrew the lid, and you take off the lid, which you can see has some holes in it. I think we've showed you that before. And we have...
Oh yeah, but these folks might not have seen that other show, so we better got to show them everything.
So you've got the holes where the water will drain through these perforated holes. It's like a very firm, solid, wide-mouth lid.
Okay.
And then we have a screen. This is to prevent insects from breeding inside. We keep our screen loose so that you can clean it out every once in a while.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you affixed it to the barrel lid in any way, it would eventually get clogged and cause problems. So now we're going to look inside the barrel. And inside you get a packet which includes the very easy to assemble instructions, which are written up here, and you have some helpful hints and other good information. And then you get a spigot and two elbows. So first we're going to talk a little bit about the spigot. We use a plastic spigot that has a nut and two washers. And the spigot does not actually thread into the barrel, into the hole. It simply is placed in the hole. And you keep one washer on the outside, put one on the inside.
Don't keep the washers together, folks. You got to separate the washers.
Exactly, there too. And then you screw the spigot in, ratchet it down really tight with a nut, and those two washers will seal the connection right there. If you don't use the washer system, then you've got to use some plumber's tape, and you will eventually, if you replace the spigot, you've stripped the thread, so you can't replace the spigot. This is an easy and convenient way to replace the spigot. So then the other...
I should have brought a watering can.
You should have.
Because I like the height of that, because the watering can fits under there very nicely.
Right, and so that's what the barrel fills. And when it falls below that line, you can just tip the barrel forward.
Okay.
And in fact, you can remove the lid and just dunk your watering can right inside. And that's a really easy way to use it. Then over here, we have an overflow valve. And so you're going to attach this overflow valve right in that hole just by threading it in, leaving the barbed end out. And then you have a second overflow valve over here should you want to link two barrels together in the future, or if you feel like one overflow isn't enough. This is 3/4 of an inch diameter, so that's if you wanted to have additional overflow, then you could attach the other one. So then you place the screen back on nicely, and you want to put your barrel lid, screw your barrel lid back on. So what we recommend doing is, again, the same thing, brace it with your knees, and just keep turning it back and forth till it finds its groove. And then it can really ratchet down. It's probably going to go down around 15 times. And so that's your basic barrel assembly.
That was pretty difficult.
Yeah, I know. It took how many minutes?
I might have to hire a contractor.
Well, some people do. So the other thing I wanted to mention too is that we do have a port down at the bottom of the barrel.
Oh yeah, right
down
near the
here.
Okay.
And you can switch this plug for the spigot and put your spigot down there. And the benefit of that is you could attach a hose to it. A garden hose goes nicely on here. Generally, if you're buying a new one, get one that has a plastic fitting here, because this plastic goes better with
Plastic to plastic.
Plastic
Okay.
to plastic. Sometimes the metal ones don't screw on as well. But so you would put your spigot down there, and then we recommend raising the barrel. And you want to raise it as much as you can. A very easy, inexpensive way to do it is to buy 4 cinder blocks and put them on their long side and rest the barrel on top. That way you can still get a watering can underneath, but you've added a little more weight, so there's a little more pressure to flow out.
But you want it on something secure, because how much would this barrel weigh if it was full?
It would weigh 500 pounds.
500 pounds.
And that's a problem.
That could hurt somebody.
Yeah, that could hurt somebody.
All
So
right.
you want to make sure it's full. And you want to make sure the ground that you've set the barrel on is very level.
Level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So then, now what about connecting it to the house?
To the downspout, well, that's a very good question. So the traditional method, first of all, you will need a hacksaw, and you're going to cut your downspout that's coming off the house right about here above the barrel.
Okay.
And the traditional method has been to, here's your cut, just attach the elbow that you might find at the bottom of your
Pipe, right?
of your downspout, and attach it right above the barrel, and the water will flow out onto the barrel, and that works fine. But what you've done in this situation is you've removed the lower downspout. So you have committed your downspout to the barrel. So should you take your barrel away, you have a downspout
the old take
coming
the
off
barrel
this,
away. We have a problem now.
Yeah, you have this coming off the side of the house, which if you have a paved surface here may not be a problem, but if it's not paved, if it's a lawn or something other,
Right.
it could present some problems. So we have a solution for that.
You have a solution.
We do, Brian.
Oh,
I think you know our
okay.
solution. So what we've done here is we've cut a section of the downspout out.
What is this thing called?
This is called the Save the Rain diverter.
A Save the Rain diverter.
And we've
Okay.
replaced it with the Save the Rain diverter.
Okay.
And the benefit of this is that you can then close this and restore your downspout because you've left the lower portion of your downspout intact. So so maybe you want to winterize your barrel
I
now.
actually just installed 2 of these the other day. So, folks, and it wasn't that difficult. But now you ready? You ready to winterize?
There you go.
And then put the barrel in the garage.
There you
Really
go.
not too hard, right?
Right.
I like that a lot. This is really cool. Okay, good. So that's the diverter.
That's the diverter, and the diverter comes in 2 sizes.
Oh.
We have
depending on the width of the downspout.
Yeah. So you measure your downspout. This is about 2 inches, maybe 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. That would be a small, and it also fits a 3-inch round would fit the small.
Okay.
The large is 3 inches by 4, and that would fit anything bigger than a 3-inch by 4 or a 4-inch round.
Usually the 4-inch downspouts are on commercial properties, are they
Right.
not?
They
so
are.
most people are going to need the smaller diverter.
Most people, we sell probably about nationwide 5% to 10% of the large, but we find in New England we sell maybe 1%.
Of the large?
Yeah. But newer construction, however, often does use the larger downspouts.
They do, okay.
Yeah, newer construction often does.
Very nice.
Something else I forgot to mention about your overflow.
Okay.
You're gonna want to attach some sort of tubing like we've done here, 3/4 inch inner diameter tubing. You attach it to the barbed end. It's very easy. You just place that on there. It's very easy, can't you see?
Well, it's real easy, folks. But if it was real easy, you just slide it on like this. This is right here.
Is that one going on more easily? Yeah.
And so now I can let this just run to the ground,
correct? You can send it away from the house.
But if I had another barrel and I connected it there,
Yep.
You're telling me that when this filled, it would actually fill that barrel too?
It would, but what we would do, rather than coming around the side, is we would put them close together, and I would just use a 4 to 6 inch piece right here.
Okay.
And then
how many barrels do people connect?
I have at home, I have 6 linked together.
Yeah, but you get a discount.
Oh, yeah. But still,
you have 6, huh?
I have 6 linked together at my home. I have sold as many as a dozen to one buyer. I don't know if they're linking them all together. I know that some people do get into some pretty sophisticated water collection.
Man, oh man, very nice. Okay. And then what else can we do to beautify this if we wanted to?
Well, we do have our favorite stones.
I put mine kind of right beside a bush, so it's kind of hidden by the bush. But you know, they're really not bad looking. They look nice beside your house anyways.
We like our polished river stones.
Polished river stones. Oh,
and this way we can bring the waterfall to you.
Oh, they're so smooth and shiny.
Yep, and they're pretty.
Actually, they are nice.
They are nice. They actually filter the water, so they really help to prevent from a lot of muck and guck to collect in the barrel. Oh, okay. We find our barrels are a thicker density than a lot of other barrels that you find out there, so there is not a lot of algae formation in our barrels. Every time someone calls to ask me about algae in the barrel, if they have one, I say, "What color is your barrel?" And it's never one of our barrels. So
you mean,
it's kind of
interesting. Do they say blue by chance? I had a blue barrel.
Did it get algae?
And I had to paint it white, but the paint didn't really hold.
Yeah, it's hard to get the paint to hold.
Now, I've been over at your shop. They have a great paint shop.
Yeah.
You mentioned you'd be in a food purveying business.
Yeah.
What kind of food came in these barrels?
Well, Mediterranean specialty foods.
Mediterranean specialty foods. Pizza?
No.
No, not pizza. Okay.
They bring olives from Spain.
Olives from Spain.
Or capers from some other Mediterranean countries. Pepperoncini.
I went to school in Nova Scotia. We used to call the people from Cape Breton Island. They were capers. Okay. And what else?
We don't bring them in our barrels.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Have any of your barrels gone over Niagara Falls? That's what I want to know.
You know, we have had some interesting stories. I do think somebody tried to go over our barrel. I can't remember the story now, but there is a pretty funny story about Niagara Falls. The funniest story I know about our barrels is the guy who got stuck in the barrel. And he reached down into his pocket, he was stuck, and he reached down and he called his wife, and she came home with an electric saw and cut the barrel. I don't know what he was trying to do, but
I don't know
at any
either.
rate.
And so you have, I have the green one, so you have the
Nantucket gray.
Nantucket gray,
Yeah.
okay. And what is this one called?
This is earth brown.
Earth brown. And the green one is called?
Forest green.
Forest green.
Yeah.
And any other colors?
Nope.
When are you going to expand the color line? I mean, this has been a while now. I mean,
well, we like
what about hot pink?
We like to keep it to environmentally pleasing colors, something that might look natural, that will blend in with the landscape.
Hot pink wouldn't be natural?
Well, you can buy a unpainted barrel, which is sort of a putty color, and you can buy some Krylon paint and spray paint it. It's a little bit of a toxic experience, but...
Yeah, I didn't find painting it myself was a good experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really didn't hold, at least the paint that I bought and used. So
this
I like these. My one that I bought a few years ago is like brand new.
Yep.
You know, matter of fact, the color might have faded, but the rest is sparkling. And if I had put rocks on it, that wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So,
it's probably out in the hot sun.
I can get the rocks at your place?
You can get the rocks from us. Yep.
And the diverter?
And the diverter.
Are there any other accessories that people...
We do have a solar pump.
Excuse me?
We have a solar pump. But that's very low in stock, and the company that manufactured it is no longer manufacturing it.
So a solar pump?
So it has a solar piece that collects energy from the sun, and then it powers the pump, and you can get a good enough charge to empty a full barrel from it in one charge. Yeah, so that's a great way for someone who has a garden that's far away or has some application.
Or a community garden.
Yeah. where they have an application where they have to make the water move away from the structure.
That's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah, it works well.
Ever hear of people using just electric pumps in these too?
Yes, I use electric pumps all the time.
Do you really?
I drop in a pool pump, I remove the lid, I drop the pump in, I put those bags around my trees, I fill all the bags.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah, so it works well.
I didn't know all this stuff. I'm so glad you're on the show today. Folks, is this unbelievable or what, huh?
Did I show you how to link the, yeah, we showed you how to link the barrels. Okay.
We did. We can cut the hose to make the link work a little better, right? Okay. So okay, let's see. We got the Save the Rain diverter. You got to raise the barrel up if you want to use the lower one, right? On a safe surface. I don't know. We've covered a lot about this, huh?
Well, I do want to talk about winterizing your barrel. You know you have to put it away in winter. We talked about that.
I have to.
But you don't.
I have to confess. I didn't put mine away last winter.
How'd it do?
It's fine. I left the spigot open.
Well, I didn't put mine away.
Oh, you had 6 barrels.
I didn't put one of mine away, and it filled with ice, and the thing knocked over and smashed my bluestone patio and cracked it. So that was not a good thing.
That's an expensive rain barrel.
That was an expensive rain barrel. I did not like that. And then in the end, it blew out. The bottom, so it can't sit straight. So we do not.
I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to take your advice.
We won't guarantee your barrels if you leave them out at winter, and that.
I never left my barrel out in the winter, folks. Did you hear that?
Well, what we recommend you do is just unscrew the lid, take the spigot off, put all your hoses and your watering cans and all that, store all your stuff. If you have a big, heavy plastic bag, if you want to leave it outside, put a big, heavy plastic bag over it, and it's fine. You just don't want it to collect water. And that's a great way to go.
That was it. See that? No.
Yeah, and it's a little storage
That
container.
was a great. This is unbelievable. See, I wish I had thought about that.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you've been doing rain barrels as long as I have, Brian.
You need to get a life, Suzanne. Hey, folks, we're talking to Suzanne Gebelein from the Great American Rain Barrel Company over in Hyde Park, right?
In Hyde Park, yeah.
And they import olives and things like that, capers, things like that from the Mediterranean area, and they repurpose these. Well, we have some time.
Okay.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to share about the mechanics of these?
Well, what's interesting about our rain barrel is that 2 school teachers came up with this design, and they modeled it after rain barrels that they found in England, and this was back in 1988. And they came to us and they said, we want to use our barrel. And of course we were obliging, and then a few years later they came back and said, we can't do this, we want you to buy the company from us. And my husband and I thought about it, and we said, okay, that's a no-brainer. And so what is really interesting is this barrel is incredibly ideal for rainwater collection. It's, as I explained earlier, it's thicker than most barrels, so it has a less instance of algae forming inside of it. We've been able to paint it, which is great, but it also has this wide mouth removable lid, which is hard, because a lot of the barrels,
the other ones don't have the wide mouth.
They don't have the wide mouth, so you can't get in it. And so it's great to dunk your watering can, just as long as you're sure to keep the lid on tight in case there's some kids around. You got to be careful of that. But the other thing too is that this is very hard to compromise, and water pressure coming off your root, down your downspout, will fracture anything that's out there. So a lot of people have these barrels that have a little screen here or some sort of device, and eventually that compromises. They can't, so now they've got a hole in their barrel.
And now insects are getting in.
And insects are getting in, and animals are getting in.
Because this top comes off, it's easier to put the screen on also.
Yeah. And the other benefit of being able to remove your lid is you can clean it. The number of people are like, oh, I can't get into my barrel. What do I do? I don't know what to tell you. This is great. You can open it up. You want to manage it every once in a while. You drop your hand in, you take a rag and swab it down, get some of the pollen out, and you'll have a
Don't drink this water, folks.
Don't drink this water. Thank you,
Please
Brian.
don't drink this
Absolutely
water.
do not drink this water.
Well, you can, but it might be your last drink.
You won't be happy.
So,
you will not be happy.
Well, that's a nice story. You take over the business from the school teachers.
Yeah. And we've been doing it for 20-some-odd years since.
Wow. And now, if the people, folks you're watching, you can contact your local DPWs or engineering departments in your town.
Yep.
And they can contact your company and make a deal for the town where the people can pay less, correct?
They can pay less, exactly. We are part of a program, we're approved vendors for the state, that's in Massachusetts, but we also do programs all over the country. We've done some in New York City, upstate New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey,
Now you ship these
California.
all over the country,
We
don't
ship
you?
them all over the country.
But for
yeah.
someone to buy it, say on Amazon or something like, the shipping's gonna be very expensive.
Yes.
So,
But I know where to tell you to go to buy it, because we have vendors who sell
All
it
over the
for
country
us,
now, okay.
and they get a much better shipping rate than I can get. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
and is there a chance you're gonna run out of barrels, or are you selling enough olives to handle it?
Unfortunately, we're not running out, or fortunately, we're not running out of barrels, no.
And what happened before they recycled, what happened to the rain barrels, these barrels before?
Well, that's a good question. Different things have happened over the years. Sometimes they did get chipped up and put in landfills, but that hasn't happened in a long time. A lot of fishermen buy them, a lot of grain and feed
Keep their live
companies.
bait and stuff?
A lot of grain and feed companies buy them.
What do they put in them?
The grain and
Grain-
feed,
grain
yeah,
and
and
feed.
they sell the grain and feed to, farm to agricultural.
It's hard to believe that this barrel was already used, it was already shipped across the Atlantic,
Yeah,
and it's in great shape.
yeah. Well, there are always gonna be markings. That's why we paint them. There are always gonna be some kind of markings on the barrel. And we're proud of those markings, they show that it's been fully repurposed, so we like that,
Very nice.
yeah.
Right, so what's the next step? Are we gonna go into any other recycled products over there?
I'm pretty busy with rain barrels. I always have a composter, within my reach, but
Have you thought of converting these to composters?
yeah, but we have so much demand for the barrels as is that
That you don't need.
we don't need to, and that's a whole nother business, so
I see.
we haven't done it, we have to engineer something, and so we haven't done that yet,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, Suzanne, I appreciate you coming on the show again.
Well, thank
It
you,
was fun.
Brian. It was great to come to your new digs over here.
That's right, well,
Glad to see
okay.
you're keeping busy.
Well, we are, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. You learned a little bit about conserving energy, saving on water, your water bill, and repurposing. Yeah, that's nice. And what else? Anything else to say?
Give us a call if
What's
you
the
want a rain
website?
barrel. www.greatamericanrainbarrel.com.
www.greatamericanrainbarrel.com. Okay, well, thank you very, very much.
Thank
And
you.
they'll have you back in a couple more years.
Yeah, great.
I hope you have more colors by then.
Yeah. Nice to see you,
Thank you,
Brian.
Suzanne.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Okay, folks, thank you for watching Talk of the Town, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.